Just you. You can understand me?
Yes. Now that I have read your physiology, your nervous system, enough to understand your language.
So you were reading me, while I was seeing...
Our last moments. Our failure.
So, whole lot of stuff just happened. Yes, we did in fact release, unstasis this Prothean, this species that we thought was completely extinct, but apparently not. They had one Prothean who survived this entire stasis period. We saw in Mass Effect 1 that there were a bunch of Protheans that tried to survive in a bunker with everyone in stasis pods. However, as time went on, they ran out of energy, and so their VI in that facility had to, one by one, shut off the stasis pods to try to at least keep some people alive. And by the time we got there, everyone was gone. Everyone was dead. And so we heard it there at the end of that little cutscene where the VI that was talking to this Prothean said that something went wrong when they did the neutron purge to try to fend off the Reapers, it seems like. And those were actually Collectors, and Collectors versus Protheans, which is twisted, but I suppose kind of similar to what happens with humans and husks, where the original version of the species and the Reaper-fied version are fighting each other, but that's an aside. But anyways, so this Prothean was seemingly the commander. I believe someone referred to them as commander at one point in time. And then all those Protheans were supposed to be put in stasis pods, and basically they would come out of those stasis pods once the Reaper's gone, except that we heard something from that computer saying that, hey, something went wrong when we did the whole neutron purge thing, and so you're gonna have to go into this stasis mode for thousands of years until some future civilization discovers you, so good luck. And then this Prothean was like, no, I need all my troops. And then the computer goes, yeah, we'll triage it appropriately. We'll basically cut the power to people one by one as needed and prioritize accordingly and save you for last. And worst comes to worst, you will be the sole representative of the Prothean species. And that's the situation we find ourselves in now. I mean, it wasn't a failure as much as it might seem like it, because, I mean, sure, 99.9% of the Protheans may be dead, but we thought this whole species was extinct. So for one of you to be alive is still huge. So not a failure.
Your people did everything they could. They never gave up. And I could use some of that commitment now.
Shepard, whatever you did got Cerberus interested.
Asari. Human. I'm surrounded by primitives.
It's not safe here. Will you join us?
You fight the Reapers?
Yes.
Then we will see.
Still learning what a handshake means.
A living Prothean.
That's correct, Admiral. But he's not quite what we expected.
Commander, our scientists barely understand what they need to do here. If the Prothean can help us construct this device, we need his cooperation.
Understood, Admiral.
We're losing colonies faster than we can evacuate. We've never seen a force like the Reapers.
He has, Admiral.
Can he help us?
I intend to find out.
Good. Cerberus slipped up and gave us a new weapon. Don't let it go to waste. Hack it out.
Shepard, I need you down in the port cargo hold. It's about our new guest.
I'm on my way. What's the problem?
I've tried to make the room more accommodating, but they're not letting me talk to him.
Apologies, Doctor. Contact protocol with a new species. Assume hostility. We had to dust off the regulations.
But he's not new. I've spent my life studying Protheans.
Ooh, I think we've got to trust him. He was saying, I mean, we know that the Protheans fought the Reapers, so there's at least that common ground. And that was one of the first things that this Prothean asked us, so I think we've got to work off that.
At ease. I don't think our guest will be a problem. Will he?
That depends on you. I can sense fear in you, anxiety and distress. The Reapers are winning.
What do you mean, you sense?
All life provides clues for those who can read them. It is in your cells, your DNA. Experience is a biological marker.
Then what exactly did I experience back on Eden Prime? That was a hell of a flashback.
The battle left its own mark on me. I communicated this to you. It can work both ways.
Like your beacons.
Yes. Which... You found one. You saw it all. Our destruction, our warnings. Why weren't they heeded? Why didn't you prepare for the Reapers, human?
It's Commander. And nobody could understand your warnings. The beacon nearly killed me.
Then communication is still primitive in this cycle.
We pieced together what we could, and used it to stop a Reaper invasion 3 years ago.
Then the extinction was delayed.
Now we have your plans for the device. We're going to build it.
Device?
The weapon your people were working on. I'd hoped you could tell us how to finish it.
We never finished it. It was too late.
Then I take it you don't know anything about the catalyst?
No. I was a soldier, not a scientist. Skilled in one art, killing.
What was your mission?
Among my people, there were avatars of many traits. Bravery, strength, cunning. A single exemplar for each.
Which are you?
The embodiment of vengeance. I am the anger of a dead people, demanding blood be spilled for the blood we lost. Only when the last Reaper has been destroyed will my purpose be fulfilled. I have no other reason to exist.
Liara's like, oh god, this guy's creepy. Liara has been studying the
Those who
Protheans
share
forever.
my purpose become allies. Those who do not become casualties.
Help us. They're allies. People don't help us, we kill them? That's maybe also a little bit extreme. Yeah, Liara has quite literally dedicated her entire life to studying the Protheans. Now, this species that everybody thought was completely extinct, in fact, we have the only live member of said species directly in front of us, and it's, yeah, not exactly what we expected.
Nothing in our fight against the Reapers has been that cut and dried.
Because you still have hope that this war will end with your honor intact.
I do.
Stand in the ashes of 1 trillion dead souls and ask the ghosts if honor matters. This silence is your answer.
We found this at the dig site. I assume it belongs to you.
It is a memory shard.
Could it help us with the device?
No, it contains only pain. But I will help you fight. And the last thing the Reapers hear before they die will be the last voice of the Protheans, sending them to their grave.
If you don't mind, I have a few more questions I'd like to ask.
Here it comes.
I've written over 12 studies on your species.
Brace
I've
yourself.
published in several journals that...
Amusing. Asari have finally mastered writing.
I'm sorry.
Never mind. What do you wish to know?
So yeah, like I was saying, she's kind of dedicated her entire life to studying your species, and so if she has her way, you will not stop answering questions from her for the next year or more. So, okay, tons of questions, of course. So, let's see. Let's start with the Prothean War with the Reapers. So the Protheans previously fought the Reapers. The Reapers won, because that's why all the other Protheans are extinct. But the fact that somebody from the previous Reaper War is here to perhaps give us some insights, some pointers on how we might more effectively combat the Reapers, that could be huge.
What can you tell us about your own war with the Reapers?
Many of the details were lost. The conflict lasted for centuries. Those that faced the Reapers in the beginning were long dead when I was born. There were memory shards, however, passed down from soldier to soldier. They gave us fragments of what happened.
Ooh. 100+ years of war with Reapers. I mean, things are still in the fairly early stages for us, but we've already seen planets get decimated, and Reapers are making would be quick work of us, it seems. So, okay. How did you fight the Reapers, and how did you hold them off for so long?
How did your people wage war against the Reapers?
Attrition. We fought them system by system, planet by planet, city by city. Entire worlds were sacrificed just to slow the Reapers down. Time they spent harvesting a population was time we could regroup.
That must have cost you in the long run.
Yes. Our own people would be indoctrinated, converted, then turned against us. But there was no choice. Mercy is not a weapon. It is a weakness.
Yeah, extreme is perhaps a very good word to describe what seems to be all of this Prothean's perspectives. So, yeah, how and why exactly did you end up losing? You fended them off for so long. Of course, we also know what happened to those Protheans that got indoctrinated by the Reapers. They turned into, well, collectors. What's up, Exlo? How's it going? Yeah, Harbinger when saw a walking Prothean. Sure, Harbinger would not be pleased to see that, well, we have a Prothean with us
How
here.
do you think your own cycle lost the war?
What had been our strength, our empire, became a liability. All races conformed to one doctrine, one strategy. The Reapers exploited this. Once they found our weaknesses, we could not adapt. The subservient races became divided and confused. Then, it was only a matter of time.
I'm happy to say our cycle is different. Most races cooperate, but they still remain unique.
Then it may be your only hope.
Okay, also, we did run into Vigil on Ilos, for what it's worth.
Several
Mass
years
Effect
ago,
1.
we found a Prothean VI that called itself Vigil on the planet Ilos. He was the caretaker of a research project.
During my life, Ilos was only a rumor. It was said we had cities there, built on the ruins of a civilization before us, the Inusanon. If our scientists did have a research facility, whatever they were doing was secret.
Yes, Vigil said they wiped all traces of themselves from the records so the Reapers couldn't find them.
The scientists eventually went into cryogenic stasis.
More of my people survived?
No, but they did stop the Reapers from taking control of the Citadel in this cycle. It delayed their invasion.
I never saw the Citadel. It was captured long before I was born.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Because, well, it's something that obviously almost everybody in the galaxy or okay, maybe not almost everybody, but many people in the galaxy right now can do, but as he was saying, they were fighting the Reapers for over 100 years, so by the time he was born, they were already in the middle of the war. Okay, so that's a lot about the war. What about, let's see, your specific mission?
Back on Eden Prime, it looked like there were other stasis pods. What happened?
The Empire had fallen, and we knew our cycle was lost. We were the final vanguard, the best soldiers left alive.
So more of you were supposed to survive into this cycle?
Yes. Under my leadership, a new Prothean empire would have arisen. we would have commanded the races of your time to prepare for the next Reaper invasion. But traitors within our ranks, indoctrinated agents, betrayed us, and the Reapers discovered our plan.
What if it worked? That would have been very helpful to have had numerous people who had previously fought the Reapers to let us know what does and does not work against them.
Just out of curiosity, how would you have commanded us?
By leaving you no other option, you would have joined our army, or faced the Reapers alone.
We've uncovered quite a few Prothean ruins. Were you observing our ancestors?
Before the war, we cultivated species who showed potential. Eventually, you would have been offered a choice to join the Empire. But when the Reapers attacked, we ceased all study. We hoped they would see you as too primitive to harvest.
Well, thank you. I think.
Oh, well, I mean, it does mean that at least we survived until now. Now they are coming for us after all. So then, let's see, can you tell us more about Prothean civilization? I'm sure that Liara would love to hear about that.
Liara here would never forgive me if I didn't ask you. What was Prothean civilization like?
Yes, I've always wondered, what sort of government did you have, and can you tell me about your religious beliefs, or perhaps the...
We are dead now. What does it matter?
I'm sorry. Studying your history has been a lifelong passion of mine.
When I was born, our empire was already at war with the Reapers. The first thing I remember was seeing my planet on fire.
But anything before that?
What was your civilization like before the Reaper attack?
We were the dominant race of our cycle. We ruled the galaxy.
My studies indicated you were the only race engaged in space travel at the time. I always found that curious.
We were one empire composed of many subjects. All eventually called themselves Prothean.
What if they didn't want to?
They weren't given a choice.
You talking about slavery?
Are you saying you enslaved the other species?
Any could oppose us if they wished, and if they had won, they would have ruled. Many tried, none succeeded.
I had no idea Protheans were so... severe.
It was by necessity. Very early we encountered the dangers posed by machine intelligence. They rebelled against us.
We've had the same problem. They're called Geth.
We could not allow the machines to surpass us. It was decided the only way to win was to unite all organic life within our empire.
Did it work?
For a time, the Metacon War, we were turning the tide, until the Reapers arrived. Then we understood machines had surpassed us long ago, in ways we could never imagine.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid things are headed in that direction with the Reapers once again. Alright, so then, talking more specifically about you, you're able to, like, kind of, sort of read minds?
We've never seen a species with this sensory ability you have.
It was common among my people, imparting experience through touch, the chemistry of life. Complicated ideas could be absorbed in seconds.
That sounds very useful.
We evolved as hunters. Reading 1,000 details in our environment ensured our survival.
It's actually kind of similar to what we've seen with some Asari being able to mind meld with people. So, I mean, that does explain the beacons to a certain extent.
I'm beginning to understand the beacons a bit more.
Later, we developed technology to harness our ability. Information could be stored in certain objects through touch. Memory has its own biomarker, its own chemistry, as do knowledge and skills. The beacons could remember these things.
Things like Reaper invasions.
Yes, I can still sense the turmoil in you, witnessing the extinction of our empire. The fabric of your being was forever marked that day.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the significance of this room is, but yeah, what about this room? This room is very significant compared to, you know, the sole member of this species that we thought went extinct 50,000 years ago.
So could you read something about this room?
There was liquid, a form of incubation, the DNA of a Krogan who lived here. It was powerful, prone to violence.
I'm impressed. His name was Grunt.
And if he were my enemy, I would have given him a wide berth. There is great strength in his genes.
Impressive. Impressive indeed. Okay. Other than that, we just have the device that he was referring to that's on the other side of the room?
Is there anything more you can tell us about this device your people were trying to build?
Or
We
this
heard
device that we're trying to build?
stories. They said our scientists were constructing a great machine that had the power to defeat the Reapers.
You never saw it?
By that point, the Empire was smashed into pieces. None of us knew what the others were doing.
Well, if we don't finish it soon, the same will be true of us.
Yeah, history may be about to repeat itself if we are not quick about that. It seems like that's the last thing we can ask about.
Thank you for talking with me. I never imagined actually meeting a Prothean.
This has been amusing.
Oh?
To discover the most primitive races of my time now rule the galaxy. The Asari, the humans, the Turians.
There's also the Solarians.
The lizard people evolved.
I believe they're amphibian.
They used to eat flies. Commander, you may count on me. I am known as Javik.
Then welcome aboard the Normandy, Javik.
Alright, so we have unlocked the Slam ability, which is the bonus power we get from Javik. We also have unlocked the Particle Rifle, which is a new assault rifle, and is actually a quite good one at that, which is one reason why we wanted to, well, do this as quickly as possible. But of course, the primary reason was to get Javik as quickly as possible. So let's see if maybe we can chat with him again here.
So much has been lost. So much has changed. And yet the Reapers are still here. For me, it was only yesterday. Our empire spanned the galaxy. Now we are only a myth.
Yeah, and that is crazy. For us, of course, there's been 50,000 years in between Javik's time with the Protheans and now this next cycle of the Reapers attacking, where it's all about the humans, Asari, Solarians, Turians, and Krogan, and so on and so forth. And yet, for Javik, it's like it was yesterday that he was with the rest of his Protheans fighting the Reapers in that cycle.
I still have much to learn about this cycle.
Okay. Seems like that's all he has to speak with us about at this stage. Why don't we take a quick look? We head down to... Well, I mean, suppose we can see if anyone else on the team has thoughts about that. Oh.
Have you seen Edie's new body?
Oh, I knew this was coming.
I just mean, it's an amazing work of engineering. Elastic titanium silicon polymers, ultra-light harmonic phased power cells. And if she ever accidentally walks into a wall, there's just so much padding.
Ugh, I knew it.
Wish I were a wall.
You pretty much are, Kenneth.
So, these are the two engineers that were hanging out here in Mass Effect 2, and as you may recall, we brought them back after they were technically kind of under arrest for having worked for Cerberus, but we gave them a pardon because we are fans of having Engineer Donnelly and Daniels on the squad, in large part because of conversations like that.
Commander, thank you.
It's great to be back.
It feels good to be in an Alliance uniform again.
Welcome aboard, Chief.
Alright, nice. Anything else with them?
Commander.
Doesn't seem like it.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Curious to see who, if anyone, has thoughts on Javik joining the team.
Need anything, Commander?
We could ask about Donnelly and Daniels, maybe even Edie, with Engineer Adams, because a lot has changed recently.
What do you think of Edie?
We had a good talk during the retrofit. A little strange at first, talking shop with an AI.
AI? I thought Edie posed as a V.
Alright, well, we've had this conversation
before.
before. I was wondering if you would have
Yeah, but
any
I saw
new
it.
thoughts now that
Have you seen her
Edie
hard
has
work?
taken
Processing
on the
power is
robotic
perfect.
form.
And then there were the
Maybe we'll
problems.
skip through this real quick.
Any skepticism?
I figured
that
I'd
is.
In the beginning, I tried, but Joker seemed.
But what about Donnelly and Daniels?
How's Engineer Donnelly working out?
The kid's got talent. Now, if he could just learn to shut his damn mouth.
Problems?
I'm sorry, Commander. Donnelly is dedicated, knowledgeable, and thinks on his feet. I'm glad to have him on my team. Could use a lesson or two about respecting chain of command, but I've handled the likes of him before. No need for concern.
Okay. What about Daniels?
How's Engineer Daniels working out?
Her, I like. She's sharp and knows propulsion theory better than most physicists I've met. And she's easy to work with, too. Always said you had an eye for talent. Good job bringing her back to the Alliance.
Alright.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, sir.
Good stuff.
I'm glad the commander didn't forget about us down here.
I told you Shepard would come visit.
No, we didn't forget about you down here. We came to visit. Alright. Let's see, so this is Javik's room. We've, of course, chatted with him, but my primary question here is, what do other squad mates have to say about all that?
Have you seen our newest crew member?
You mean the biggest story in 50,000 years that I can in no way talk about?
So you have seen him. Just wondering.
So this is, in case you can't tell, it's Trainer who's talking with Diana. We've heard her do that at least on one prior occasion.
You know, in the old days, they didn't have automatic cameras. Reporters had to cake on the makeup. Do we need to talk, Commander?
No, we're good.
Not right now, Allers.
No worries.
Let me know when we do.
Okay. So now, I mean, I think we're pretty much just looking to touch base with various squad members and see if they have any thoughts on Javik.
I love you, but I know you. Don't make me an anchor. Promise me, Steve. No.
That doesn't look good.
Commander. Sorry. Didn't see you there. This is a recording from Ferris Fields. Months ago. I lost a lot of friends that day. I lost my husband. I grieved. Said goodbye, made my peace.
Did you witness him get taken? Because that is a tough experience.
You were talking to him when the collectors hit?
I was organizing construction at a remote station a few clicks south of the main colony. Robert managed to get outside of the field the collectors put up. Instead of running, he called me.
Ooh. Well, in that case, I mean, you can at least remember that he cared.
I'm sorry for your loss. He obviously cared a lot about you.
He was afraid I wouldn't let go. But for him, I moved on. Or at least I thought I had. Then the invasion hits, there's no time. And the one thing I grab is this. I mean, what's the point of moving on with your life when everything is going to hell?
Start thinking that way and we've already lost.
Yeah, you're right, but... well, to be honest, I've never felt as alone as I do right now.
But you've got us, you've got the team.
You're not alone, Steve. I'm here, anytime you need me.
I appreciate that, Shepard, I really do. But don't worry, Commander. When I'm in that pilot seat, I'm there 100%. I won't fail you. It's just the downtime between missions that's hard, you know?
I know.
Alright, so that's the latest from Cortez. We get some Paragon points as well while we're at it. Let's see if James has any thoughts on the previous mission.
I still can't believe it. A real live Prothean. Doc must be over the moon.
You could say that.
I hear the guy's not all there. Exactly. Damn. I can't imagine. Brought forward 50,000 years. Last of your kind. That's bound to screw with your mind.
Yeah.
Well, here's hoping he can help us with the Reapers.
Hoping so, too. Yeah, I mean, imagine that. You go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and then suddenly it is 50,000 years in the future? That'd be mind-blowing.
That Primarch's got some real cojones. What we need are more politicians like him, taking names and kicking ass.
That may be.
I bet the elusive man's boiling in his brandy right about now. Took that Prothean right out from under him.
That is kind of true as well.
Hey.
Alright. That seems to be it from James. The other thing that we did, though, is that we did get the particle rifle, which I guess we can't really get a full explanation of it here, but we can here. So let's just take a look. So the particle rifle, very heavy, but very high capacity. Hold on. It's, very heavy, very high capacity. However, huge rate of fire. I mean, it's an assault rifle, yes, but it is an extremely fast-firing weapon. Damage looks low, but that's a little bit deceptive, and actually, the accuracy is deceptively low. It is actually quite literally pinpoint accuracy. So let's read up on it a bit. After the Reapers obliterated the Prothean Empire's warships, the Prothean resistance was forced to develop weapons that did not rely on intact supply lines. The Prothean particle rifle is a stripped-down, powerful assault rifle modified to fire without thermal clips or specialized ammunition. Alliance scientists agree that it appears to share some principles with the Collector's particle beam weapon, which is actually something we saw in Mass Effect 2 as one of our heavy weapons, although this gun requires a temporary cooldown period if it overheats. An amalgam of two different eras of technology, the particle rifle is still a deadly, efficient weapon. So this has immediately become, far and away, our best assault rifle. So that is very nice, because it's something that, I mean, we had, what, the Vindicator that was okay, but, yes, particle rifle becomes a very, very nice option, because we hadn't purchased any, I mean, we found the Vindicator just lying around on a mission, but we hadn't purchased any assault rifle upgrades, and that was one of the reasons why we didn't do that, was because this will be, in some cases, it could even be an endgame weapon for all of our assault rifle users. If not, it is certainly, at a minimum, a very nice bridge until we get to whatever that endgame weapon might be. So, very nice in that sense. I mean, we're not going to use it on Shepard right now because, as you can see, it is extremely heavy. And for that reason, it is probably more so... You okay? More so something for James and or Garrus. What happened to the K9? That's a little concerning. But anyways, let's head back up and let's see if we can find other people who have thoughts on Javik. Like, perhaps Garrus?
Seen a lot of crazy things in my time on the Normandy, Shepard. A talking Reaper, a talking plant, and now a real live talking Prothean. Hell of a thing, waking up to find everything you know is destroyed. But I imagine the chance to get some payback is consolation. Doubt you and I'll ever get a second chance against the Reapers.
Well, that means we just gotta make this time count.
What do you suppose the Prothean eats? What if it's boiled asari with a side of fried Turian? I don't know about Liara, but I'm not taking that one for the team.
Liara's like, I'll do anything for the Prothean. Even if he eats live asari.
If this war goes south, maybe we could freeze you for 50,000 years, Shepard. You could go from being merely famous to legendary.
Yeah, you know, we'll just do what Javik did, right?
How's it going?
Alright, looks like that might be all that Garrus has to say on that topic, but some interesting points. Interesting points there, Garrus. I don't think we're gonna have anyone over here, will we? Oh, right, Liara's office.
On the private messages terminal.
Oh? Let's see. Prothean Notes 2186, Entry 1. The thing this Prothean must have seen. If they had the technology to preserve someone for 50,000 years, no wonder they were capable of building things like Device on Mars. I must give him time to get his bearings, but, Goddess, when will we get another chance to learn so much about their civilization? Attached, Notes on Prothean. So I have to imagine Liara has thoughts on all that.
A Prothean. A living, breathing Prothean right below me.
He's not what I expected.
Me neither. He was a little cold when I tried to talk. I understand the shock of waking up again. His species gone. But a Prothean, Shepard. There's so much he could tell us.
True, but I mean, he's been cryogenic sleep for 50,000 years, so it's understandable that he's cold. Alright, I'll leave. I'm sorry. No, we'll see if Liara has more to say. We'll limit the dad jokes.
Feel free to look around.
Okay, that's all that Liara has to say on that topic, apparently. I suppose we kind of did have that entire conversation alongside her, and she was sort of taking part in it. Alright, so then CIC. We didn't really chat with Joker or Edie. At least not before talking to Javik.
Those poor colonists on Eden Prime. For what it's worth, our new crew member doesn't need a translator himself, but he shared a Prothean language tutorial program. It was apparently designed for servant races being inducted into the Empire.
Lovely.
Charming cultural clue.
Yeah, so the Protheans, or rather yes, Protheans, but the people on Eden Prime, the colonists, that we collected some data on, or collected some Cerberus info on, and tried to relay that to them so that they would have the ability to better defend themselves against Cerberus. I think, technically speaking, depending on how many of those you get, you might sort of get a different outcome there, where they could potentially fare well or not fare well against Cerberus. Or maybe I'm kind of mixing that up with Pharos back in Mass Effect 1, which is very much the case for them. How are these two doing?
So a Prothean? A real live Prothean? Has Liara stopped bouncing yet? I'm guessing there may have been some bouncing.
Probably.
Commander?
Alright, so that's all from Joker. What about Edie?
How's our new visitor adjusting to the ship, Edie?
He appears not to understand the human custom of separate sex restroom facilities. I am attempting to enlighten him. I will update you if there is positive progress.
How about you just update me if he doesn't get the message?
Very well.
Yeah, not sure we want to know all the details on that.
Hello, Shepard.
That seems to be all from Edie. In which case, that might be just about everyone's reaction to having a new Prothean
Unread messages at your private terminal, Commander.
on the squad. Some unread messages. Let's see what the deal is. Several of them, actually. Spectre status confirmed. Commander, Udina made me an offer. This is from Ashley, and I accepted. I'm a Spectre. I can't believe it. With everything falling apart, does this even mean anything? With all the authority, resources, freedom, the whole scary package, but I don't know. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Come by the hospital if you get a chance. They're still keeping me here, but I'm planning on sneaking out soon. Okay, so we might want to pay another visit to Ashley? Then meet me on the Citadel. This is Miranda. This time, another old squad mate, this time from Mass Effect 2. Commander, I heard about your stay with the Alliance. I can only imagine what nonsense they cooked up to keep you there. We should talk. It's safer in person. You'll find me on the Citadel by Bay D24. Okay, so certainly would like to get the chance to speak to Miranda again. Then ANN alert, new article on Eden Prime from Alliance News Network information partners. Alliance officials confirm a local resistance movement has successfully pushed Cerberus forces off Eden Prime. So I believe that happened because we got all of the information sources that told the colonists what they needed to know to fight off Cerberus, whereas if you don't do that, that's probably not the message you're going to get. Cerberus attacked Eden Prime for reasons that remain unclear and set up facilities to occupy the colony. So it doesn't seem like the more important secret got out there, fortunately enough. But after constant attacks from an united populace, Cerberus troops retreated. Alliance officials are sending in evacuation transports now to get colonists off-world before Reaper forces reach the colony. We owe this victory to the Alliance, Resistance leader Edward Crabb said in a prepared statement. The people of Eden Prime have always been ready to fight, but Alliance Intel gave us the tools we needed to push those Cerberus dudes off our planet, and that Alliance Intel is, coming from us. Many Resistance fighters have said they plan to enlist to support the Alliance, so that's great news. We basically saved Eden Prime, and now many of the colonists are supporting the Alliance in one way or another. Omega, it's time, from Arya. Shepard, I'm ready to discuss that pet project I mentioned when we spoke in Purgatory. Come to Dock 42 on the Citadel. A Batarian named Bray will be waiting. Okay, we could, but then again, I'm not necessarily sure that we want to do so yet. I mean, we have Javik now, which is nice. So, you know, that's one key thing that I wanted to make sure we made a point of doing relatively early. That'll, of course, give us an update here for Citadel, Arya T'Loak. Arya has requested a private meeting. Find her at Dock 42 on the Citadel. So, yes, that was one of the key things, getting Javik on the team. I wanted to make a point of do that as quickly as we could, so we had some time to, well, spend with him. And although, let's see, can we... I think we can see to the private terminal. Can we see this if we go back up to our cabin for a second here? Mass Effect 2, you could take a look at your whole squad there, but we may only be able to do that up here. Yeah, here we go. Squad terminal. So, in case it wasn't clear, yes, indeed, Javik is, in fact, a full-blown squad member here. And so we get some info on him. He has Dark Channel, which is a unique ability. Lift Grenade, which I think might also be a unique ability. Pull, obviously we have that. Slam, which is the bonus power that we learned from that initial conversation with him. And then Vengeful Ancient, which is his passive ability. So as you can tell from Pull and Slam, which we saw in Mass Effect 2, that was Miranda's loyalty power. He is a biotic, so that is cool. Not only is he a Prothean, he is a biotic Prothean, and he can do power damage for a different appearance, and then can also do... Well, that's also power damage. He can do power recharge speed. That's the alternative. So, yes. He is, I think in some ways, technically the classes get a little bit blurred in some cases, kind of like they did in Mass Effect 2. Similar story in Mass Effect 3, where it's not always the easiest thing to say, oh yeah, well that person's an adept, that person's a vanguard. Obviously in the case of Liara and Garrus, it's a little bit easier, because we can tell based on what they were in Mass Effect 1. But for Javik, I'd say the closest thing is probably to say that he is a vanguard, although he doesn't have the biotic charge ability. He has a combination of strong biotics, and he's also not bad with a weapon. Oh, I suppose this is just confirming that we've potentially changed his armor? I was like, it's not like we're about to jump out into a mission, are we? Why are you telling me to confirm the squad? I mean, a little nervous for a second there.